live now. What I'm going to be running is an intro to RuneQuest. You've all roleplayed a bit before, as I understand. Most of you are vaguely familiar with RuneQuest. And you've all got characters which you've actually pre-made, so I haven't had to give you any. Which is going to be fun, because it means I actually have no copy of your sheet that I can easily refer to in my head, because you've actually done your homework. How very dare you? Now, can you briefly tell us all a bit about yourself, your character, rather? Arthias, would you go first?
Okay. Arthias is a young noble from the Poljoni tribe from Prax. Probably he was Sartarite in origin. He has been fighting quite a bit. He comes from a family of fighters and has been working as a mercenary and as a caravan guard in the latest years, basically.
Okay, and speaking of caravan guards, Carda. I think you're someone who needs guards.
I am. I'm a merchant in Clearwine who travels and has a frequent need for guards, because while I'm convincing and quite intelligent, when it comes to fighting, I have fairly poor skills. So I need someone to look after me as I wander around with my valuable cargoes.
And Illyria.
Well, you can't tell from looking at me, but I am actually female. I'm an Israeli female from the capital, however one pronounces it.
Notchit.
Notchit, that simple, is it? Okay. So I'm a woman from Notchit, and I've ended up on the wrong side of the law.
You're taking a holiday for your own good.
Yes.
So,
yeah, okay.
I'm going to fiat here that you do all know each other previously, at least enough to trust each other to travel. So, it may be known to Carda that Illyria gets into trouble with the law. But how you sort that out between yourselves, I don't mind. It's the case that Illyria is with you, because otherwise it'll be 3 hours before we actually get to the plot.
Okay. Might I ask how Illyria is in trouble with the law?
She fought the law, and the law won.
The law hasn't won. The law hasn't won yet, but it was trying. I got caught stealing stuff.
Right. Okay. Good companion for a merchant, then. Thank you.
Well, I think that maybe there's some shared history, which means that she's prepared to keep the sorts of people who would steal stuff of your caravan in particular.
Absolutely. Yes. Well said. Thank you.
And you can trust her.
I am quite loyal.
So, I think, Carda, you have reason to be somewhere between the Hjording and the Varmandi. As I understand, you rather dislike the Varmandi.
Dislike the Vermandi intensely. They killed my grandmother.
Gosh.
And they are all personally responsible. Would you go and visit them?
All personally responsible. I'd only go and visit them at the head of an army.
Right, so in that case, you are not on the way to the Varmandi. What's actually happening is you're taking a bit of a tour that way to see whether some trading routes are suitable. You don't have all your mule train with you, but you're going to go up the Swan River a while, and then you're going to cut across it at a ford that isn't one where the Varmandi might try and later, I don't know, they call it tax. What's your word for it?
I think I'd be describing that as extortion.
Yeah. those bastards, they don't tax us like honest Heordings going along the road. They extort by violence.
I'm a poor merchant just trying to make an honest clack.
Luna, you want to make a Luna?
Well,
Maybe a wheel.
He's cutting his own throat.
It's relatively early in the morning. You are travelling along. Artaios, for you, this is one of those things where you go along, you see where obvious ambush points are.
Yeah, scouting around.
Yeah, your guy Carden knows the area better, but doesn't know this bit quite as well. Illyria, for you, it's mostly... Well, it's that or stay in Clearwine. I think Illyria has frozen.
It certainly seems so.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
Okay.
we have Illyria.
I'm back. Yes.
So, yes. Illyria, you caught that? Okay, in that case, Illyria, it may be best if you turn off the camera for a bit and let your connection rest.
Sure.
Did you
Yeah.
catch what's going on there?
No, I didn't. It all froze.
Okay, we're going out without the mule train just to go check out a prospective route that goes to some areas north of the Varmandi, but without going past the Varmandi. For you, there's no particular reason to be there except it's either that or stay back in Clearwine or Apple Lane. So
Yes. No.
From- yeah, from Clearwine it's a day up to Apple Lane, then you go east and you go north.
Right, okay.
Without further ado, can everyone please do me a scan roll? So,
Yes.
for those who are unsure, you roll a D100 and get on or below your scan score.
I got above.
You got above, so you have not seen this thing.
I also got above.
I fumbled it. I got 98.
Oh, so, Illyria. They are obviously not very good at seeing stuff, because you can see, off in the distance, don't ask me how, a pure gold unicorn. It's like, you don't see those very often. About a quarter mile ahead.
The rest of us are, of course, oblivious.
Is there anything you're doing about the unicorn, or are you going to keep this to yourself?
I see a gold unicorn. Don't know what anyone else sees.
You saw what?
Okay.
I
Have you been
definitely saw
drinking
a
again?
unicorn.
I think the drinking might be too little to see unicorns.
This is the danger of traveling with a shipment of clear wine, I tell you.
Yeah.
Okay, so you think you saw a golden unicorn?
Yes.
Whereabouts was it? How far
About
away?
ahead of us, about a quarter of a mile ahead of us.
Okay.
All right. Is there an opportunity for the rest of us to try and look more closely and see if we can spot?
Well, you're going to have to go a little bit forwards.
Right. Okay. Well,
Which means, as you get up to the water and the ford you're going through, well, I suppose you should probably all make me another scan roll at this point. It's nice to give people a chance, including me.
Not a chance.
all right. I have actually made my scan roll this time. Just.
And Illyria?
Yeah, I made it. Yes, I made it too.
So, those of you who make your scan roll will see it looks like there are a couple of drowned humanoid shapes in the water. And
Okay.
some very strange eddies on the surface. They look not quite whirlpoolish, more like the surface of the water is shivering a bit, and as it shivers it makes itself into little movement runes and little air runes, which is not very watery. And there do seem to be human shapes beneath the surface.
I would like to ready my sword, just in case.
Just for the moment, Artheos, because you didn't pass, I'm going to give Carda and Illyria the first chance to do
Right.
stuff.
Right.
So I'm going to say, did anyone else see that? How far away from the water are we?
By now, you're pretty close. You need to be able to see, an eddy this far across.
Okay, so I'm going to say to Arteos and Illyria, is anyone else seeing eddies in the water that look wrong?
Well,
Yes.
I haven't, but of course I trust your judgment. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, apparently.
Right, it's
Yeah, so
Um,
I've seen it as well.
And humanish shapes beneath the surface.
Mhm.
right. Does anyone have a magic or any other form of ability that would help determine what it is that we're looking at here? And in the meantime, I'm going to ready my sword as well.
Okay.
Get my shield off my back.
So we're all swords out and ready to go.
Yeah, swords out. Yeah, I think.
Illyria, of course,
Positioning
has
myself
to...
behind Artheos, of course.
Yes.
Ooh, I got spam. Okay.
Should we venture closer to see if we can see? I mean, we have to go to the ford anyway, so we may as well
Yes.
Yes, that's true. Let's
venture a
look
little closer
carefully.
very cautiously.
Okay.
Yes.
No,
I think
just-
I should stay ahead and act as a bodyguard.
I'm fully supportive of you in that move.
Thank you, Orange Asp, for reporting the spam. Sorry, guys, very exciting. We have our first spam bot, and I cannot actually remember how to deal with it from inside here, so I'm just going to ignore it for the moment. Chat settings. It does say show moderations, but whatever I click. Okay, thank you for reporting them, Orange Asp. We'll just move on. I can't work out how to deal with it. And besides which, the zombies are about to attack Arteos. Arteos,
Brilliant.
good news! You're going to be first in the action.
Okay. And I am strike rank 3.
Okay, so what's going to happen is things are coming out at you. Hello, cat.
Yes.
Things are coming out at you. I'm going to take statements of intent. It's probably pretty easy. You all have swords out. But
Yes.
first of all, I'll describe what's going on. A couple of humanoid figures grasp Artheos, and a couple more seem to be moving up behind. That's all you can really tell.
Okay.
So, Artheos,
Do-
statements of intent.
do-
Oh, sorry, question.
Do they have anything noticeable about them in terms of clothes or
As
whatever?
you get there, well, currently they are darkish figures. You are about to
Okay.
find out that they are obviously dead, but for the moment they could be anyone.
Okay. And they move aggressively.
It's either that or they really want to give you a hug.
Okay.
I mean,
So I'll
you could take your chances.
yes. No, I'll try to strike them to parry one with my shield and strike the other one
Shield
with my
defense.
sword.
You can parry both if they attack you both. That's cool.
Okay.
You're just fighting them. You're not doing magic. Carter.
I'd like to cast protection.
I think that's a touch spell, so you're just casting it on you.
That's correct. And I'm going to use 3 points to do that.
Okay, so that'll be your Dex strike rank plus 2 points for your extra
so that's-
magic.
Yeah, so my Dex strike rank is 1.
Sweet. So you'll be in on 3. Illyria.
Yes. One of the two that are attacking, Arterius. I want to cast disruption on them.
Okay, that seems reasonable. So disruption's a 1 point spell. You don't get any extra magic point penalty for it, so
No.
that'll just be on your Dex strike rank. Arteos, it's quite unlikely that you are hitting them on strike rank 3. So your strike rank is your Dex strike rank plus your melee strike rank plus your weapon strike rank. You're probably, probably hitting them on 5.
I have a Dex strike rank of 2. Then I see a side strike rank of 1. And
for a sword, I think a broadsword you're using.
yes,
So that's an extra 2 to swing round something of that size, but it's got a good length, so you get in there before shorter weapons. So you're on strike rank 5. And now I'm going to count you in. So it's strike rank 1, 2.
Yeah, that's my disruption.
Ooh, go for it, Illyria.
Right. So first of all, I need power times 5 to see if it works.
Absolutely. Power times 5.
I've done that. 48. I've made that.
Sweet. And these don't have POW, but they do have magic points, which is what we're going to use. They have 5 magic points. They're not very good undead.
Okay.
They're terrible at it. But you still do need to roll a resistance roll to get over that to see if you damage it. Roll me a percentile die.
Oh, he hasn't given me one.
Just a D100.
40.
Yeah, that's going to get under. When we get to any number where it matters, we'll actually do the calculation.
Right, okay.
And do me a location and damage, which is a D20
Yeah.
and a D3.
Location, that's D20. Location is 5, which is left leg.
Left leg.
And damage is 1d3 minus 1, I think.
I think it's 1D3.
Oh, okay. I'll take your word for it. I'm sure you know better. 1d3. I got 1.5. Okay, so 1 point, I guess.
It'll. In general, you round upwards if you're rounding, but if you're going 1, 2, well, we'll assume. And as has been noted by the peanut gallery there, you also get a tick on POW.
Oh, okay.
Because you've overcome someone's POW. That was strike rank 1.
Yeah.
Strike rank 2, 3.
My protection kicks in.
Protection. Please roll your spirit magic. POW times 5.
Yeah. That's a bit depressing. 25, I've made it. Hooray!
Sweet. So you are protected. 4, 5.
then it's my turn, right?
Yes.
So I roll and I fail the attack.
You failed your
As I
attack.
roll. Yes.
However, this is actually a slightly different attack because they're down low. They're attempting to grapple, which means you should get a plus 20 for them being in a stupid position, which I'm making up as a number. But does a plus 20 help, or do you still fail?
Yes. I rolled 82 over 80, so
Yeah,
with plus
so
20, I get them.
Yep. Do you mean location and damage? It's not trying to parry or dodge.
Location is 11,
Mm-hmm.
which is the abdomen.
That's the abdomen.
Yes. And I have D8, right?
D8 plus 1 plus any damage bonus you have.
So it's 4 plus 1, 5 plus 1d6, which is 6. So it's 11.
Fellow. Okay, yes. That's quite a lot of damage, but you can feel, although you've hit it very solidly, it's still coming towards you. That should be a mortal blow, and nothing's happened. Well,
Okay.
you've mostly cut it in half, but it's still coming towards you. That was
Guys, we
strike
need
rank.
magic to deal with these things, having observed that.
Strike rank 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. On 10, you are going to be attacked by 2 of these things, Arthas.
Okay.
You may attempt to dodge or parry. If you parry twice, you're at a minus 20 for the second one.
Okay.
It is a good way of cutting fingers of unarmed opponents, however.
Mm-hmm. Well, yes, I try to parry.
Okay, so I'm going to roll twice, and in the order that I roll, you'll parry.
Yes.
Sweet. Please roll me 2 parries and tell me the result.
It's 53 and 33,
So that
and
would
my
be 2 passes. Because you're doing it at 80 and then at 60. I'm just leaning
Yes.
sideways because guess who put the GM screen away earlier? Whee! The fun thing about having parried someone successfully when they have failed to hit you is you get to do them damage. And normally you only damage their weapon. But when the hand is a weapon, this is quite cool. So, failed attack versus normal parry. The GM screen, incidentally, is a massively good piece of kit. Roll your parrying weapons normal damage, please. In both cases.
So it's 1d8 is 6 plus 1, 7 plus 2. It's 1 is 9,
Mm-hmm.
5, and the other is 8.
Okay, so la 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 la. In both cases, that is enough to cripple a person. This means they're going to be flopping their arms around. In both cases, they have one arm non-functional. Yes, you do. However, again, they're not stopping. Now, it is quite clear to you, Athos, these people are dead.
Okay.
But you have not been grabbed. However, there are 2 more of them incoming.
How cool.
Statements of intent, please. I'm
Keep
moving us through
fighting.
the rest of the round. Keep fighting?
Keep.
I'm wondering if we have any magic that might do something here.
Let's think. So, Carda, you are from the Hjording, which means you're a bit upstream of where trouble normally comes, but you're within a day or two's ride of the upland marsh. Can you please do me a homeland law?
Okay. Can I, because I've got water as my primary rune, can I try and augment my chance of a roll on that?
Weirdly enough, this one is not about water, so it doesn't matter that you've messed around in boats all your life.
Okay.
They just happen to be underwater.
Okay, alright, so it's the... Yeah, alright, getcha. 005. Well, 05. That's not
Okay.
bad.
So what is your homeland law?
My homeland lore is that customs homeland lore is 30. It's just the base one.
Okay, cool. So
I've
that
got
means you
1/6
actually
of it.
get a special because that's 20% or under. So you have heard enough stories about zombies to know these seem to be zombies. You can just dismember them so they can't fight. If you take their heads off, you can't see them. Just damaging them generally isn't enough, but damaging them in the right places is. You
Okay,
can't
so aimed strikes are the way to go.
You can't quite remember where to hit them, but if you take the limbs off, they can't strike you much, for example. So it's not as bad as it seems, but laying down damage quickly is probably good.
Okay, so can I yell across to my colleagues to say we're just going to have to take them apart bit by bit?
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable sort of thing to be shouting in after the briefly shocked moments. Everyone will hear that. There's no reason why not. I believe you all speak enough of the same languages. So, statements of intent, Ataios.
I'll try to go for the limbs. Keep fighting and try to hack their limbs first.
If you are going for the
Since
limbs,
I don't know about the head.
Yeah, if you are going for the limbs, you will be waiting until strike rank 12 and then striking at 50% of your ordinary rate because you're making a cooled shot. You will still get the plus 20% after that because they're trying to do something that isn't really fighting. So it's up to you to decide if you want to do that. I'll go through Carda and Illyria while you have a brief think about that. Carda?
I'm just going to try and smack these dudes.
So you're running in.
Shield and broadsword, I'm going to have to get in.
I think it'll probably take you 6 strike ranks to get in there, but they won't be concentrating on you. They have no idea you're there yet. Illyria.
Yes, I'm going to head in. My sword's already out. I'm going to head into battle as well if there's space.
Oh yeah, it's a nice open area.
Okay, so I'll go in there, and however long it takes for me to get in, then I'll just add
Yeah,
that
again, I think about 6 strike ranks.
Okay.
Just add that on.
Yeah.
I think my best call will be to just fight and hope for a lucky strike.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with that. So, strike rank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ataios?
Yes.
You want to say
And
it on 5.
I thought I was on 6.
2 plus 1 plus 2 is 5.
Okay, brilliant. Never been good at math. So I rolled 19, so I guess I got them
That's
pretty solidly.
good. With the fact that they are down at knee level, that's actually a special. So, roll twice your ordinary damage. Roll the 1d8 plus 1 twice.
Okay. The location is 3. And so it's 5, 6, 10,
Right
plus 8, 9. It's 19.
So that's the first limb lost for the first zombie. Minus right leg. Don't even bother putting the hit points on that, just minus right leg.
Or floppies, as we prefer to call them.
And that was 5, 6. People running in, I have happy, excited surprises for you. Ataios was particularly lucky with how the how he went into the ford. Could both of you please roll me a dex times 5 to keep your footing, because this is not the great ford that you were told it was, Carter.
Come on, 80 should be easy, surely. Come on. Yay, 49.
Lyria, do we have a result from you?
Sorry, yeah, 54 was what I got.
Sweet. So yeah, you're fine. It's only the fumble which is really fun for me. But I do like to ask people to roll things. It makes them feel happy, and then you get their little excited faces. 6. Also, you two, you see a small figure rise up from the water by Arthaios. Gravity. And as it does so, it stabs out at a zombie. It's very lithe in the water, but it doesn't seem to have
It's a
done much
duck.
damage. It's small.
It's a duck. Come on, own up.
It's a duck. It is definitely, absolutely a duck. There is going to be a certain form of quackiness about. Nevertheless, I believe we got to 6. We'll go to 7, 8, 9, 10.
That's me. I'm hitting it. I'll be in and ready to hit at 10. So.
Go for it.
All right. So what do I roll?
You roll D100 and try to get on or below your skill.
Yes, thank you. I rolled 91, so I missed.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Meanwhile, Arthaios, these two are coming at you again. Still. Please roll me 2 parries.
It's 27 and 39.
Okay, so while you manage to fend off the second of them, the first of them is a bit more of a worry. The thing's managed to grab onto your leg and is twisting and pulling. Now we have to make a much more interesting resistance roll than the POW versus POW. We make the do you fall over resistance roll.
Okay.
I'm going to roll the strength times strength because I'm the active one attacking. Can you please tell me what your strength is?
19.
Okay, so it's got a 40% chance of pulling you over or pushing you over, and it's absolutely failing to. You're rock solid in the water. It's fab, but it's still got a hold on you.
Okay. So I need to roll something?
No, because that will come at the end of next round when we do new statements of intent.
Okay.
And that was 10. 11.
That would be me.
Hey.
Right. Okay, 65% chance for the broadsword.
Come on.
Hey, 97. Told you. I warned you about letting me fight.
Oh, that's not even nearly a fumble. 11, 12. Statements of intent. We have 1 holding onto Arthaios, 3 close to Arthaios, probably all able to attack him this turn, 1 small feathery thing in the water stabbing.
I'll attack the guy who's holding onto me.
That's going to actually give you a plus 40 because now he's completely unable to defend himself. So that's going to be cool. Calder.
I'm going to wade in and just smack the nearest zombie.
You're already pretty waded in, to be honest. I mean, in both senses. Illyria.
Yeah, I'm just going to attack the same one I missed last round. See
Fair
if I
enough.
can do it with that.
So I will count you in quite quickly now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes. 4.
4.
I rolled.
My apologies, Atheos. Hold your roll. We'll use it later. Illyria is on 4.
Right. 50%, that's a hit.
Woot. It is not defending itself. Please just roll damage and location. They don't defend.
Okay. So location is 15, which is an arm. Forget which.
It's the right.
And there's my dice roll. Damage is 1d6 plus 1. So that makes 6. And a d4. And do 8 points to the arm.
Okay, so again, you have another one with floppy arms. They're not going to be attacking very well, which is highly fortunate, because
Yes.
you're in the water and RuneQuest drowning rules are horrific. And that was 4, 5.
I rolled the 1.
We like criticals. So you do your full ordinary damage twice, so the 1d8 plus 1 twice is just full out and doubled. You don't bother rolling it.
The location is 10.
Yeah, it's 18. And
Yes.
you do get to add your bonus on your damage bonus onto that.
So it's 1d6 and I rolled the 6.
Okay, so absolutely massively full damage. 18 plus 6 is sufficient, as my old DM used to say. Bless his socks. You have cut one of these things in half, like straight slashing through the abdomen.
Okay.
Given that it's the one holding on to you, it's now at a serious disadvantage in attempting to pull you underwater.
I guess.
Yeah, it's, you know, kind of fortunate. We like that. The others are still trying. That was strike rank 5. 6.
Would be me.
Go for it.
Actually, I should probably be on strike rank 5 as well. Size strike rank is 2, dex is 1, and broadsword's 2, so it should be 5. Sorry, my apologies. Alright, let's see if I can actually hit anything. Yay, 47, I'd hit!
Woot,
I
and
hit.
again, they are not defending themselves.
Right, so location is 5, which is...
It's a leg. Don't just give me the
left leg.
number, I can deal with that.
Okay, and damage is 6 points in total.
Okay, so, yep, you've sliced into a leg. It all seems to be working pretty well for you. However, zombies. You haven't sliced through the leg. I wonder what the duck's score is. Oh, that's his broadsword score. Yeah, his teeny little broadsword has burst into flames. He knows how to bring a sword to a sword fight. He's flailing around himself. That seems to be most of what he's done this time round. Which means you have one attempting to drag down Arthias, one that is
Half
finally...
one.
Yes, plus half of one. 1.5 trying to take down Arthias, one of which doesn't need to roll because he's already got you. One of them is going for Karda and one is going for Illyria. I'll do it in the order you're appearing on my screen. So Arthias, you have 2 parries to make. I'm going to give you the tough one to make first. Because the second one's at minus 20.
So the first one is 66.
That's a pass, and over here we have a mere pass. So yes, the sword's in the way.
And the second one is 91.
Okay, so you have failed at that, but what's actually really going on there is I completely forgot it was attempting to do a strength versus strength against you. It's failed. It's trying to twist around, but it doesn't have a lower body anymore.
Okay.
It's floating downstream. My apologies, the second parry was entirely unnecessary. Karda!
Okay.
You may parry or
What am I doing?
dodge as you wish.
I'm going to try and parry.
Mhm.
So presumably I can parry with my shield or with my broadsword. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah, I'll try and parry with a broadsword.
It's approximately trying to rugby tackle you here, in case you're wondering.
Yeah, I've got a 0-3 on my broadsword skill 65. So.
That would be pretty good. Whoever told you you were not allowed to play with broadswords hasn't heard of what a critical is. And a critical parry, even against a passed attack, is pretty damn good. Roll your parry and weapon special damage, please.
Oh, what is that?
It is 2d8 plus 2, plus any strength bonus, so plus any damage bonus you have.
Damage bonus. Who needs those?
Warriors.
Yeah, not me. My 2d8 is a total of 4. Plus 2, so that's 6 in total.
6 in total, you know, it happens. Roll me a location, because it may matter the next round or two.
14. So, right arm.
Right arm, yes, that makes sense. Right arm minus that many. Because if you start to take off limbs and stop them from functioning, we should actually respect that. Illyria, please feel free to roll me parry. Or dodge.
Dodge.
You only briefly said something for a moment, Illyria. I think your mic didn't pick up properly. Illyria, what was your result?
Yeah, sorry, I'm getting a 25.
Oh,
I
okay.
dodged.
Sweet, you have dodged. Awesome. You can always tell us that you're getting there, but when we're waiting, if we can't see your camera, we're going, is Discord broken? So you can try putting your camera on again and see how it goes.
Okay, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
Sorry, my internet connection keeps freezing. So.
Nah, I mean, it happens to all of us. Okay.
Can I ask a dumb question?
Go on.
Sorry. If you have a strike rank of 5 and there's 12 rounds, do you get to strike twice?
You can dedicate yourself to doing that if you're not going to defend yourself.
Okay.
Also,
Not
the
so
rules
dumb
get
question then.
the rules get quite complex because they're not entirely written. However, no one's died. The duck is still waving his little golden sword. End of round. Statements of intent. Athos.
They are just trying to pull us down in the water, right?
Apparently so.
So I'll try to strike the other guy, not the half one.
Not the
that
half
is
one, yeah. Carter. Unmute and then talk. It's better.
3 years working from home, you think I get it. Yeah, I'm just going to strike the one closest to me that I hit last time.
Fair enough. Illyria. Unfortunately, I think that did just freeze you again, Illyria. We're going to have to tell you to turn your camera off. Sorry about that.
Yeah, okay. No, it's okay.
Just make noises if you want us to pay attention to you. Zombie noises are
Yes.
good. Statements of intent, please, Illyria.
Attack the same one again.
Attack the same one again. That's fair enough. For the record, because some people were watching us to find out how play goes. Hi, Orange Asp. What Deverval did last time, this little ducky, is he cast his flame blade and then he attacked. and I can happily go through that for you later. He missed his attack, but looked good. Howdy, Asp. So, strike rank 1, 2, 3, 4.
And 63, so it's a hit.
Thios, you're on 5. Illyria is on 4, but again, hold your
I'm
number.
on 4.
Oh.
Sorry. All right. Come on, speak to me.
Speak to me.
52, that's a hit.
That's a hit, cool. And again, zombies don't defend themselves, just do location and damage.
Location is 7, so that's left leg, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Damage is 4 and 3, 7. 7 damage to the left leg.
Okay. Yeah, you're slowly hacking them to bits. 5.
So it's
Hey, me, sir.
63, it's a hit.
You as well, Carter, in a sec. Yep, 63 is a hit.
Location 7,
Mm-hmm.
and it's 7 damage.
Mm-hmm. Leg. Okay. Again, more leg wounds. Carter.
0-1. Who said I couldn't? Oh, that's not bad. Location.
You sure you need a bodyguard?
So just roll
Yeah,
the location.
location is 13.
Okay.
That's the right arm again. And
Yep.
damage is.
You don't roll your
11.
damage, it's a critical.
Oh.
So your damage
Okay.
is, 18. Which means that as well as chopping off the right arm, you're going through it and doing further damage to the chest. Right.
Wasn't
on.
one of the zombies already without a leg? Or
Yes.
is the one which I chopped in half?
There's one you chopped in half. There are bits of legs floating downstream. There was the one that you crippled the leg on the one you chopped in half, I think. There are bits floating downstream. That was 5, 6, 7. Because ducks are tiny, they're still dexterous. Oh, that's finally a hit. One day this will be a great guy. Yeah, flame blades are awesome. Arthios, the duck, has cut off the leg of the guy that you just actually hit. So now there are even fewer legs on the zombies. The good news is they are not going to be chasing you very much. The bad news is they're just still coming.
Oh well.
Now, there are a few things that could make you up the numbers you've got. As Carter has said, you could inspire yourself if you'd wished. Like water, because you're fighting in water and you might be good at it. Hatred of undead, if you happen to hate it. That's about to become important for our duck. You can, at any point, attempt to inspire yourself. Shortly, I'm going to draw this battle to a close after about one more round, because we've had quite a lot of battle, we've got into it, but zombies take a lot of grinding down. So, if you want to, and you can find a thing that might inspire you, please feel free.
My primary rune is water, so I'm going to try for inspiration for fighting in water.
I think that that's reasonable.
Okay, so I've got 80% on my rune affinity, and I've rolled 0-4.
So that's a special. You're really good with it. What you need to do is move with the water. Stop fighting it. Go downstream, let the zombies be brought to you. You can add that. You can add... That was that a critical?
Yeah, 0-4.
Out of 80, yeah, that's a critical. Thank you, Tom. So you add 50% to your broadsword score. I know. That's a killing machine, that merchant is. If people feel they don't have something that helps them, that's fine as well.
I'm 70% water, so I'll have a shot
You could have a shot at that.
at that. 70%, and my score is in inspiring myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to still hit the same one that
Yeah,
I've been
cool.
hitting
So
all
did
along.
you passed on your inspiration? Inspirations, incidentally, are not the same as statements of intent. I'm just throwing it in here right now so that you can remember them. Olivia, how did you do on the inspiration?
Yeah, I passed.
Sweet. So
52.
you will get a plus 20.
Okay, thanks.
Ataios.
I have no affinity with water, unfortunately, so I haven't got a chance for the moment.
Fair enough. Unless you have a particular hatred of zombies or...
No.
No, okay. In that case, fine. You're just, you're just yourself. So we'll go through one more strike rank. Oh, sorry, one more melee round. And then... then we'll either sum up or we'll use battle. I love battle.
Okay.
So, statements of intent from everyone seem to be hit it. So, 1,
Keep at the, yes.
2, 3, 4. 4 would be Illyria.
Yeah. Sorry, camera froze again. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Right. D100 plus 20. 53, so just a normal hit.
That's just a normal pass, but still, do me location, damage.
Location is 5.
Mm-hmm.
A leg again.
Mm-hmm.
Damage is 7 plus 2, 9.
Okay, so this is going to mean it can't use its left leg for leverage. It hasn't quite come off yet, but you've damaged it pretty badly. That was 4.
Okay.
5 is the both of us.
5 is the both of you. We'll take you Artheos
After you.
first, just because
Okay.
it doesn't matter, because you're in separate fights. Otherwise, it would be highest
So-
dex first.
I passed the roll.
Mm-hmm.
So I hit location 8,
Mm-hmm.
and it's 14.
Okay. And 14 damage. Again, really not a lot of legs left on any of these zombies here. It's really annoying, you know. You create your undead and then you take them and then they're all suddenly shorter. And the duck has also done pretty well. I rolled it and then I forgot and then I re-rolled it. He's cut the arm off the thing, Artheos. I think we now have the it's just a flesh wound, if you prop it up.
Yes.
Right. And you, Carter.
Yeah, well, I hit with 41 because at 106, 100 and some 105%
It is
chance.
unopposed, but that's still an ordinary pass.
Yeah. And location was 9, which is abdomen, and damage was 3 points.
There. It happens to everyone.
Yeah. I'm more scared about getting the broadsword stuck.
So, at this point, we have been fighting for some time. I mean, it's cool, but I'm not going to get off on that bit if we keep on going. So, we're going to do one more broadsword roll each, just to find out how we do, and if anyone does anything spectacular.
Tranquillo, Pato. Tranquillo, amore.
I scored 9.
So, pass.
I've got 15, which is exactly 1/5 of my
Special.
need to hit.
Matthias.
I need 22.
Okay, so 2 passes and a special. A pass from the duck, and because I rolled for the zombies as well, a fumble from them. Which I suspect indicates something goes horribly wrong and one of the zombies attempts to strangle and drown another zombie. Resulting in merriment for all
Other
and
than the
having some
zombies.
good targets. And then the water is quiet and a small humanoid duck is bobbing there in the water. He puts his sword out by blowing on it. He's got a little beak, he's a mallard. And he blows on the sword.
Lovely plumage.
And looks at you.
Yeah. Say hello.
Hail warriors.
What language is he speaking?
He is speaking Hjortling. So, the language of Sarta. Those of you from Esrolia will mostly understand it.
So, speaking to the duck, thank you. We don't know your name, but we appreciate your assistance.
I just put a little picture of him in the session channel for everyone. For those who can't see the picture, it is a young Humacti duck dressed in humanoid torso armour, of course, because duck. Hello. Hail. Yes, I am Devithal. I'm sorry, I'm afraid you have a bigger problem.
Well, thank you again, but what is the bigger problem that we have?
He points downstream. Those things don't do that without orders.
Do you know what is giving them their orders, or who is giving them their orders?
Can you please do me a scan roll?
This hasn't gone well in the past, so I'm not optimistic. 60, so that's a fail.
36, that's a pass.
Mm-hmm. And Athios, have you yeeted your dice? If you're speaking Athios, we cannot hear you. It's entirely possible we're having the same problems as earlier. Such is life. Athios, make a sound when you think it's time for you to make a sound. Meanwhile, those of you who pass scan, Illyria and possibly Athios, you're pretty sure that it is indeed lovely plumage. It's bright and the armour is almost new. And, yeah, we lost him temporarily. Hey, Athios. We hear you again, I think.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So I did not pass the scan roll.
Fair enough.
Once again.
Fair enough. So only Illyria is going to see this. And the armour's almost new. The plumage is bright and his skin is really smooth. This is basically a teenage duck. Like, you got a kid here. And he's carrying himself like he obviously knows that there's important stuff going on. But he also looks a little bit nervous.
Well, Master Duck, there's strength in numbers.
There's one obvious possibility. They come from the upland marsh. I tracked them all the way up here. And that means probably a vampire.
Okay. Does anyone know how to fight vampires?
No, I don't.
Hail
The
Humac!
duck does.
I do know how to fight vampires. Generally, it's get help. We may not have that possibility, but good news is it's early in the morning. We should be able to either get help or find out what the hell is going on before sundown. Why is this fort important?
Not terribly.
They were waiting
But-
here. He scratches
Who were
his
they
beak.
waiting for, do we think?
Duck shrugs are very expressive as the feathers.
That's it. Le Mallard.
I don't know. They kept moving past villagers at night. I've been awake for quite a long time.
So obviously this is an important location for them, which they're trying to stop people crossing at.
I-
Does anyone else have any ideas?
Does anyone have Homeland Law Sarter on their sheet? One of you will.
Not me.
No.
Well, I do.
Okay, Carter, could you roll that for me, please?
Oh, that's a fail, I'm afraid.
Okay, so yeah,
67.
you cannot remember why this might be the case. Now, we've been playing for about an hour. I've done an awful lot of talking. It's one of my tendencies. I am declaring a tea break. Tea breaks are fantastic. I put on a big tea break sign. Shortly I'm going to pause. Later there will be horrible problems with me attempting to... I'm going to mute. There will be horrible problems with me forgetting to unmute later and the channel having to shout, please unmute Diana. We'll come back in about 10 minutes.
Okay.
But
Okay.
tea is required. Does that mute it?
Still having troubles, but I don't know. Grazie amore, buonanotte, scusami.
No, scusa, tu, lo so perché volevo uscire. Volevo uscire. Questo pare che adesso me ne vado a letto. Fagli fare l'ultima prima da dormire solo.
I'm not too sure about this taking on vampires.
I'm experiencing a very weird problem at the moment, which is that apparently my headphones do not work anymore. I hear you from the computer audio, even though everything is set on the headphones.
It's very bizarre.
Anyway, it reminded me a little bit of the Black Knight and King Arthur.
Yes, it's just a flesh wound.
Yeah, I was expecting them to call us pansies. We call it a draw.
Yes. So who's terribly attached to their character and doesn't care dying against a vampire? Or I'm wondering how far we are from the nearest help.
See a lot of cats around. Seems like I am the only one without a cat at hand.
I have 2 dogs, mate. You're fine.
I have 6 dogs.
Okay, that's a bit further than I'm prepared to go.
And the thing is that they are generally in the 40 kilograms range each.
Yeah, it's a lot of dog. My old dog was 55. These ones are a lot smaller. They're still children. They're still babies. They're only like 18 months old, so they're 35 kilos and 31 kilos at the moment. So they won't get too
Yeah.
much bigger.
Mine are 3 of mine are 8 months only, so they should grow a little bit more.
So, Dana,
Yeah.
how far are we from the nearest settlement?
Well, Apple Lane, which you came through, is an hour or two back. I mean, it is still relatively early morning. However, I inveigled Orange Asp over here to demonstrate a bit about how strike ranks work, because that was quite a simple combat. We just counted them out. So, Orange Asp, I have unmuted for you. You can still shout if you want. I hope you're there, because I'm probably going to say this anyway. Do let us know if you're here. Yay, you're shouting, cool. Okay, so what happened, I'll go through Devival in a bit more detail. He had a double action the first time round. He only went for 1 attack, but you can do other things and still have 1 attack in the round. So his dex strike rank is quite small. He's a duck. Ducks are pretty limber. So he's going magically on strike rank 1. Because he's got a spell that directly applies to his sword, he doesn't have to take a hand off his sword to deal with it. So he just cast Fireblade. Fireblade's quite a powerful spell. It actually takes a bit longer because it's got some more magic points in. Your first one is free. So he had to add in 3 more than that. So he actually went on strike rank 4 to cast. But then he didn't need to do anything like draw a sword, because it just applied directly to the sword. So he cast on 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then he added 5, his broadsword rank, for when he then attacked. So he then attacked on 9. The zombies went on 10. So he actually managed to get in there faster. He could have done extra stuff in that round, potentially, but it would have been very difficult to fit it in. You can also, probably within the rules, cast Fireblade while you're waiting for the end of the round for the 12th rank, and do the cooled shots. That's perfectly within the rules. It does mean you're a bit busy, but hey, I'm okay with that. If you have any specific questions, I'm volunteering Tom. The reason he went on 4 instead of 3 is he adds 1 for his initial dex rank, and then 3 extra for the spell. So the spell costs 4, the first one is 3. So 1, him, 3, the spell is 4. If you're doing something like Disruption, which doesn't apply to the weapon, you need at least a free hand to cast it. Which would probably mean Disruption, quick, cheap, easy spell, plus 5 strike ranks to work out what the hell you're doing with your hands, and then you add on. So he could have cast Disruption, 1, added 5 to get his sword back in order, 6, and still struck on 11. But he's a duck and a warrior. Fireblade is the thing. Illyria, are you back with us?
Yes, sorry.
That's cool. I was explaining a thing to Orange Asp anyhow. Orange Asp, if you have any more questions, either queue them up or ask them in the chat, and I'm sure Hobbit Tom will answer. Hobbit Tom, I love you. I do not love him.
So it sounds like we've got a challenge here, whether or not we go and try and deal with the vampire, or we go back to try and get help from Apple Lane, or we pretend that it never happened and just continue on.
So, thank you for drawing us back to the plot, Carter. You have a young duck looking expectant. Are you saying that thing about pretending out loud?
Yes, I may as well. I think it's in character. I'm a merchant. I'm not a fighter.
I understand that you do not wish to expose yourself to danger, but I will still attempt to take on the vampire no matter what.
Well, I guess that he is my employer or something like that at the moment, but I think that the right thing to do might be to actually go against the vampire, because anyway it's not good for trade having a vampire around.
That's quite a convincing argument, and I take your point. I just would like to know. I'd like more information before trying. I don't know anything about vampires, about how we might attack them, whether they're vulnerable to non-magic weapons, how we might kill it, how we might. I just have no idea.
Well, a blow to the head, hopefully taking off the head, and a stake or death rune through the heart generally does it. You probably want to use magical weapons on them, but I don't have much of Humac's magic, but I am prepared to share it.
That would be very helpful if you could. I have some spells, but they're mostly passive. They're mostly
He paddles
not
closer,
related to weapon.
reaches up and pats you on the shoulder. You're not supposed to be a warrior, don't worry.
It's quite clear I'm not.
You did very well. I was impressed.
I do have blade sharp. That might help.
Yes, absolutely. Doing them damage will damage them. It's just that they recover very quickly.
Alright, so Illyria, what do you think? Because I think we're now thinking it's possible.
Yes, I think it's possible. I mean, I'm not a fighter. I'm better at sneaking than fighting. But I haven't got. What I mean is, I haven't got any offensive magic really, apart from disruption. So there's not much I can do there. If we need magical weapons, then I would need someone else to cast a blade sharp or something on my blade. I don't know if that's allowed or not.
The duck
Yeah.
nods his head. I mean, blade sharp is a touch thing, so you put it on the blade. It doesn't need to be kept up. Even disruption magic will help against them. Just
Right,
keep it
okay.
coming.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. I think we're all agreed.
I
Yes.
think we've just lost someone's sound settings again. Curse him. Curse his clean feet in our foul waters or something. For those who are waiting, we're waiting on Vanth because for some reason sound keeps dropping out for him.
Sorry.
He's back and we can hear him.
Yay.
Honest.
Sorry.
So are we all agreed? We're going to do this thing.
Yeah, let's do this then.
The duck looks...
Do we know where the vampire is?
No, although it's entirely possible that we could find out with magic. Or we could try to work out what's important about this ford. Or we could just wait because something's important about this ford.
Where does this ford lead?
So, down to the upland marsh. It goes down Swan Vale, so past the Hjordings, past Apple Lane, which is a small trading outpost, and then some people who like to cosplay as swans, and then into a marsh famously full of undead. You'll have heard of the upland marsh, even if you've never visited. Don't visit.
So this could be a passage for the undead and a vampire. I'm not liking the sound of this.
If they come from there, this means that they want to go where we just came from.
Yes.
Vampires can't really cross running water, says the duck. Has anyone noticed some unusual eddies here lately?
Yes.
Yes.
You're not trying to drain the ford or something silly, are they?
There's a river upstream. But they don't need to cross. They can fly. They can turn into smoke and fly.
Which kind of makes the crossing running water a bit irrelevant, doesn't it?
There's an interesting theological point over how high you have to be to cross a river. I got carried away, didn't I? Sorry.
Well,
All right. Do we have access to any spirit magic we could potentially find out more?
The way to do it would probably be through divination, asking the gods directly. For me to do that and to ask Humact, I would need access to a temple.
this means that
Right.
we should go back to the town.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm uncomfortable at going back. The longer we delay, the less daylight we have. If we're going to deal with a vampire, I'd rather do it during the day.
It is,
Oh, yeah.
as a character, I remind you, it is still relatively early in the morning. You
and
could
it's
get
1 hour, and
Yeah.
it's an hour to go back to the.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You could get back to Apple Lane and do some talking to people and be back here by the afternoon or by late afternoon with at least some time to prep and set up.
Sounds like the sensible thing to do. I don't like going into a situation where I don't know what we're facing or how we're going to fight it.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Is everyone agreed?
Yeah.
I am.
We go.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's go.
All right.
The duck gets out of the water, shakes himself off, his armour stays dripping wet, and forms up with you, which means that he proudly stands next to Artaios like a little warrior. He's about 4 feet tall, built like an Indian runner duck with arms.
Okay.
Okay.
And this means, yep, you can absolutely go back to Apple Lane. Da, da, da.
Who do we know in Apple Lane that might help? There's a market there which.
There should be a temple, I guess.
Yeah, there's a little temple to all gods, which is extraordinarily useful. There is a retired god talker now, probably once a storm voice, called Karina, who is a voice of Orlanth. There is a merchant by the name of Squinch who travels. I think Squinch is the merchant. Let's call Squinch the merchant, who travels a lot.
Right.
He was the one who told you, Carter, yes, that's the forge you want to take.
Do we want to split up and?
It's a tiny,
Potentially I
tiny
can-
town.
Yeah.
I mean, it shouldn't be a town at all. It is simply a trading post. Except people decided to call it a town because King Sarta wanted to make a town there. It never really took off. So it's got a temple of Illyria, the goddess of love. The temple to all gods. Apparently once it had that amazingly expensive thing, a blacksmith of all stuff. Like, wow, someone who just dealt with iron. And about 20 families live there.
All right.
But during Illyria's
But-
Holy Week, lots of people camp in the fields. Glastonbury, but when the festival's off.
Okay. I think I should go and speak to Squinch as a fellow merchant.
Yeah.
And potentially I have access to divination as well as rune magic. So I can try and ask for assistance from the god.
Yeah, you could ask Isseries some question along the lines of why was the path blocked, for example. He can only answer those things to do with him, but paths, travel and trade are very Isseries.
Okay.
I am an initiate of Orlanth Adventurers, so I might speak to the old voice of Orlanth and see if he can shed any light on the events.
Okay.
Illyria, that would leave you around town. Now, you have been through here before, Illyria.
Yes. Well, as far as I remember, there's a tavern there, is there?
There is the Tin Inn, yes, absolutely.
Right. Okay. So I think that's more my sort of place for asking questions and so on, because I'm quite good. I'm not very good at charming people, but I can fast talk them. So
Sweet. So
I might be able to talk someone into telling me something.
you're probably going to be talking to the innkeeper Brightflower.
Right. Okay.
Deveval gets talking with the duck cook.
And
Maybe they
Illyria,
have
keep your
something in
hands out of
common.
other people's pockets while you're there this time.
Absolutely.
Okay, again, we will do it in the order that we are on camera. So, Arthaios, tell me, there's Karina. She is meditating at the top of a tower, because the tower is windy. It's the Temple of All Gods, but you can go up the top and the winds blow through an open room there.
Hello,
Hail, little brother.
we've been trying to pass the ford, which is an hour from here, and we've been attacked by undead.
The one upstream.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very troubling.
Is this something that happens a lot?
Not to my knowledge, no. In fact, I wouldn't think that undead have been around there at all, except obviously I trust what you say. This is it is a very worrying phenomenon.
We've been told that there is a vampire in the area, and we would like to try to get rid of him. but we need some advice about how to go and do that.
She thinks for a bit, and then she says, be young, be all length, go straight at it. But there's a thing I can tell you that might help you. Tonight's the night the ghost comes. There's a ghost at the ford. You don't know this? You're not from around here. It's called Vinga's Ford. There is a Vingan ghost there. Tonight, I think you could probably make it into a temple. Tonight of all nights, you might be able to help there.
How can I help?
Well, over the years I've divined a little on this matter. The Vingan's name is Alarin. She's fighting there. I don't know why. I only get confused images of battle. But if, as the ford rises, you sanctify the area, which you will know is a rune spell, you should be able to defend a temple against a vampire, which is far easier than fighting against a vampire. And if you're lucky, the Vingan will help you. I can't say that, but at least you'll recognise you.
Okay. What do I need to sanctify the ford?
You've never done this. So,
No.
you'll need to dance around it. You'll need to throw woad to the air. It's best if you dance naked, of course, but, well, it's looking a little rainy. I'll understand if you... Some men get stage fright. Dance, throw woad, and call the gods to the place. Demand that this place belongs to the air. You know the spell? Maybe you've practiced it. Do it from your heart. Do it from your pride. Do it from the air inside you. And the woad is pretty important. I'll go get you enough. And she takes you downstairs and she gives you a pot. It'll show you where the edges should be. If you're doing it on the ford, you should have, bit strange here, you should have enough land to work with. Oh, by early evening, I'd think.
Okay. Can I make an offer for the temple?
We'd be delighted, absolutely. Please feel free.
Yes.
We'll knock some money off your sheep. We'll do that as bookkeeping. Carter,
So I've gone to see Squinch.
you've gone to see Squinch. He's
And
sitting in his room, in the Tin Inn, propping up his table. Carter.
how are you, my friend Squinch?
A little bit hungover.
That's no good. That ford you pointed us to,
Yeah, Vinga's Ford, yeah.
it was defended by zombies, by the undead. And you wouldn't know anything about that.
He thinks, and he goes, it's storm season, isn't it? Death Week, Wednesday. Magic things apparently happen at that ford on this day. I didn't know you were setting out today, I'm sorry. I thought you'd be taking a mule train along in a couple of weeks.
I understand.
I'm very sorry. The magic of watching paths is good stuff, by the way. Very good stuff.
Alright. That's something to bear in mind.
Sorry.
Can you assist with divination to Isseries? Is there a location that I can attempt divination here?
The Temple of All Gods, but you know what? Maybe I owe you if you want me to do it instead. But
That would be much appreciated.
what do you want me to ask?
I would like to know why the path is being blocked and preventing humble merchants from taking their business to other parts
Oh,
of Glenartha.
you stay here. If any drinks arrive, they're for me. Feel free. And he hurries off. Oh, nice. About an hour later, he comes back. So, is that wine? Ah, there we go. That's what happens.
Hey,
I freeze occasionally. My router doesn't like my computer as far as I can work out. Is that wine? He has a quick swig. I asked. Isseries says today there isn't a road. Which is a bit strange. And it's important he answers. He answered, so he knew the answer, but that was his answer. So
this is the problem with gods, they're always so cryptic.
bless the Lord of Communication, indeed.
Thank you, brother. I had best return to my friends and prepare ourselves for what we must do.
Best of luck. Harmony go with you.
Give them the quick merchant's Isseries, handshake or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's the 3-finger salute. Illyria.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I've forgotten his name already, but I'm talking to the bartender.
Brightflower. She
Brightflower.
is the
She.
daughter of the old innkeeper. So she's... it's you again.
Yes, it's me again.
How's it going this time? Doug, I think you turned off your camera instead of muting yourself. How's it going this time?
And we're going, just tried to cross a ford, and we ended up fighting zombies, which was a bit surprising. Do you know anything about that?
Is this going to be one of your sob stories?
Well, we're all still alive, so possibly not. But we've got things to do, and we need help.
That's a bit weird. You haven't asked me for a free drink yet. Are you actually telling the truth?
Just for once, I'm actually telling the truth.
I think I'm having a moment. And she takes the beer and she pours some beer and she pushes it over to you. Right, now I feel better. Zombies.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Actually, you know what? I know who you need to talk to.
Oh, yes.
And she takes the beer back. You need to talk to Hendros, the horsemaster.
Okay.
He's around. He's at home, I think. You need to talk to him, ask him about the ford, because he stayed there when he was a kid to prove himself. She counts up. All right, maybe he wasn't a kid. But he stayed there to prove himself. Overnight.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. I'll be back for that free drink later.
She looks you in the eye as she sinks it. And
Okay.
Hendros the horsemaster is a big Orlanthe chap who lives about 100 yards to the south.
Right, okay. Are we going to have a chance to get together and confer as characters?
You have only spent a few moments here.
Ah, right.
So you can go do that if you wish.
I'd like to confer with the others first. And,
Fair enough.
And maybe we can go mob-handed to Hendros.
Cool. So you wait a little time. After a while, Bright Flower just gives you a drink. And then you get back.
Okay.
Now, for the sake of argument, I am going to assume that everyone says everything that everyone else has heard.
Yeah.
Unless you tell me you're holding something back.
No, of course, I will say everything that I have been told.
Me too. I've got a fellow Lightbringer with me, so I feel as though I should be honest this time.
You've got 2 Lightbringers. Devival says he can add that ordinarily the ford is smooth-bottomed and about 2.5 feet deep. And that was not what it was like at all. So the duck says different. And then you can go see Hendrost. He's a big, bluff-looking guy. You can tell he's Orlanthi. It's storm season, it's raining, and he's bare-chested.
Disgustingly healthy.
Hail, he says. Nods to Orthios.
Hello.
Hello.
We have Lightbringers among us. Friends should be friends. He has a Greyslander accent, which I'm not going to attempt.
Okay, who's going to talk first? The merchant, I suspect, would be.
I'm not Orlanthi. I should let the Orlanthi speak to him first. He's more likely to be friendly.
Oh, right, fair enough, yes.
So, hail. We've come to you in search of informations. We have tried to cross the Vingan ford this morning, and we have been attacked by undead. And we have been told that you know the ford and that you were the person that we should talk to in order to gain more information about it.
I stayed there 2 years ago to prove myself to dear Jenna. He waves to a woman off in the distance who's completely ignoring him because she's working. But he looks soppily for a moment. Yes, I can tell you what happens. Once a year, in fact, tonight, her cave appears. There's a cave sacred to the Vingan there, and she comes out of it. She's ambushed by 3 huge things. They look like small giants. I prayed to Orlanth to deliver her, of course, but I had no answer. But she fights them for most of the night. As she's getting worn down, as Yelm begins to appear in the sky once more, they all vanish and the cave goes back under the river.
We have been said that there is a vampire connected to these zombies. Do you know anything about it?
I tell you, I stayed there all night. I saw the Vingan. I was able to describe it. I boasted. I sang a song about it. Don't ask me to remember it anymore. I extemporized it and I can't remember. But I was not attacked by anything undead.
Are there any legends locally of what might happen if the Vingan were to be defeated?
It's so old. There's nothing I've ever heard of. She comes, she fights, that's it. You think that someone's attempting to hurt her?
I see no reason for them to be interested in the ford other than through this Vingan temple.
Well, I can really only wish you the best of luck, because if there are undead around, it's my task to make sure that this place is patrolled. Feel free to do me an insight human, anyone.
Okay.
Right.
$25.
23, so I have succeeded.
So, those of you who pass, he
I
does
succeeded,
Sweet. Those of you who pass, he does actually want to come with you. Like, He's hoping maybe someone will call him a coward so he can fight them. But... Matthias, how did you do?
Yeah, I was trying to find my score. I think I passed.
Okay, so yeah, you're all getting this. He's not backing away. It's just that Apple Lane is desperately undermanned when it comes to defence. And if there is a problem, they can't really help you.
So if you... I can speak to him. So you were the only one we know that had spent a night at the ford and seen the Vinga. Your help would be of priceless value. And when I say priceless, of course...
Don't. Merchant. Don't try me. And he sighs. I wish I could.
What would it take to persuade you?
Knowing that this place is safe. Honour dictates I stay. But you have a warrior of Orlanth with you. Are you saying, young man, you're not enough? He looks at Arthios for that.
Well, I might be a warrior, but I'm sure that a friend with me would be a great help.
He looks at you and his eyes narrow. And off he goes to talk to Karina. You can hear it from outside the temple. Karina's answer is a flat no. Get the barricades up. Stop being a young man. You're married. You have children. And he comes back out to say quite likely, I'm afraid I'm going to be busy this evening.
If we fail to defend the ford an hour away, how long do you think before this evil comes to the town?
He looks at Karina's tower. I would not be backing the evil. But if it's a vampire, you can always retreat. He looks at the little duck, or die nobly. The duck nods.
All right,
We will have to trust to in the help of the gods and perform the sanctification of the place, and hope that that's going to be enough for us.
Cool.
I'm sorry if you see my video becoming obscured. It's because I'm fighting a fly that keeps walking on the camera.
I had wondered because it didn't. You know, you hadn't mentioned that you had a very fluffy-haired cat. So I'd seen it a couple of times. I got, is that a fly? Is that no? It can't be. It must be a fluffy tail. Okay. The good news is that Bright Flower gives you all a free drink to go away with.
Oh, excellent.
As long as you take Illyria away.
He really likes you.
Fight a vampire.
Yeah, there's a rather awkward moment when she asks Dval, half pint for you? And little Devaval pulls himself up and says, no thank you, I can hold my drink. But he has to hold it in both hands. One sec. Hello? I am Stu. Are you coming in here?
Because you forgot your computer.
I don't really need it.
But you forgot it.
Yes, I
It's
don't
your
want
problem
it.
now.
Apparently it's my problem now. Ignore the trollkin. That's the computer I was looking up the details of this on earlier. Okay, this will get you back to the ford in the early afternoon, as advertised. It's now quite a lot wider. The flood, where you were dry before, you're at least up to your ankles. Where you're up to your knees, you're also up to your ankles, because there's a cave starting to make itself known, or at least a lump of rock, which looks like it's probably going to end up having a cave in it, if the story is correct, right in the middle of the ford. Squinch could have said something.
I think that the best thing that we can do is to try to sanctify the place immediately, and then get ourselves ready for whatever might come afterwards. Do you agree?
Agreed.
Agreed, yes.
Yeah. So I guess that I get naked.
Fair enough.
It's always one in every group, isn't there?
There's two in mine. I'm one of them. So, the getting naked and dancing counts as ritual preparation, which means you're going to have, how long's that taking? Yeah, you're going to have a plus 35 on your air roll. So you roll air to cast Sanctify to make it into a temple.
Yes.
Allies of your temple, the light bringers, for example, Carda, and apparently for no apparent reason, Illyria, will find that the temple accepts them.
My roll would be 70 plus 35, and I roll 56.
Okay, so you've passed. There is a temple. As you throw the woad up into the air, it doesn't fall, it begins to circle round, and the winds start to spiral, and every time they come in too far, they go up, and the blue floats back down again. So you can see that there's kind of an arc all the way up and over you as well. And as the ford begins to grow, as the rock in the middle begins to grow, as the ford splits into two bits properly, you find that the temple expands to the size it should be as the rock gets bigger, like it's fighting against the water. And then that happens. As long as you continue to do things holy to Orlanth in this area, including fighting desperate enemies like chaos and vampires, it will maintain itself as a temple. So you can do other things.
First thing is getting all my armor and tool back.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And getting ready to face whatever comes our way.
Okay, so you're arming yourself as Orlanth. That definitely sounds like the sort of thing he does. And then there's a fight.
Right, so, in the meantime, I'm going to speak to our good friend, the Mallard,
Mm-hmm.
and ask about Blade Sharp.
Well,
Are you ready?
I can put magic onto your sword, he says, and my lord has blessed me so that I can make a sword strike much more fiercely. And, as an initiate of Humact, I can attempt to push the vampire back by willpower and the power of the death rune. Then he pats his little broadsword. This. But making eye contact with a vampire is very dangerous. And you'll want to be aware of that.
Right.
If it should happen to you, just try to close your eyes. You got that, all of you?
Yeah.
Yes.
I have a large floppy hat.
Might help.
Pull the brim down.
What about looking him indirectly, like through a mirror?
If you can polish bronze highly enough, pretty good. If you've got some. It's something about the magic. You know, like when a cat sometimes looks at a duckling and the duckling freezes. It's a lot like that. Terrible business.
Is it possible to stack warding with the Sanctify?
Oh, hell yes. I was going to be mentioning that, but...
I think that's a very good idea to get the wands out and create a space within the temple space that is also protected by warding.
Yeah. So it's quite clear that there is a muddy cave entrance starting to emerge. It's still full of water. You can't get down there. But you could ward that area, or you could attempt to be sneaky and try to ward some part of the island such that the vampire will come across it unexpectedly.
Who's going for sneaky?
I'm going for sneaky.
Well, of course you are.
I think Yermal also gets warding. So you could do both.
Oh, okay.
Not, of course, that you are in any way Yermali.
Not of course, no.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to take the honest approach and do warding within the area on the island that we can remain within and protect ourselves.
Are you including the cave entrance in that?
I'm going to make the dangerous assumption that what comes out of the cave entrance is not going to be hostile at this stage, and that we're more likely to face a threat from outside.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I will include the cave entrance in that.
According to the Horsemaster's story, it's probably going to be a Vingan. She might be a bit pissed off. Pissed off Vingan could be seen as hostile, but... meh.
Well, she might be pissed off with other things at this stage.
Is protection going to be any good?
Protection will probably... yes. Everything that's... if she hits you, you will want to be protected. If you have shield magic, that's better. Because she can cast magic, probably. If it's sorcery, I don't know, because I don't know a particular vampire. But yes, everything is good. But obviously save the spirit magic and the big magic until she gets closer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so the warding remains intact until you actually remove the props, so we can do that at any time, so I think it's time to do it now.
Yeah.
I'll put that in place.
Okay.
That's now you can stack it with multiple points, but I'm starting to run quite short of.
Will I do, well, I'm not sure how the rules work. Can I do warding as well? I think I can.
You can, Illyria. We'll get you to do a warding. It'll be in a separate place, but an obvious place for coming towards the cave, according to your sneakiness.
Mhm.
So
Sweet
we'll
thing.
match the int against what is presumably approaching versus your int to see if she comes through it. 'Cause
Right.
you're
okay.
a sneaky bastard and you know sneaky bastards.
Mhm.
For other
Yeah, I
people, I'd
do.
make them roll battle, but this is your ballpark.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'll do that.
Cool. So you'll decide which rune to use, and you'll roll on that.
Okay. I will. Yeah. So many things open. Come on.
Yeah. It's got to be one of your god's runes, which in your case, of course, are truth and harmony.
Yes. Yes. Of course. I'm going to roll on disorder.
I was hoping so.
Will I do it now?
Yeah,
Sorry.
do it now.
Okay. 16.
Perfect. So you have got what looks like 4 ordinary heaps of junk
Mm-hmm.
scattered around the place. You've done it in a long, thin line where you think someone would sneak up on the cave.
Mm-hmm.
The interesting thing about this is, if she goes in and then out, she probably still takes damage twice.
Ah, okay, that's good.
Can be fun,
Mm-hmm.
but it needs to be a big enough area to protect something inside. So you can't just do it an inch wide all the way around the island. Not even your god of loveliness can do that. Donadar, the entertainer god. Kardar.
Okay, so I'm going to try warding the area as we previously discussed. So
Also, please tell me, Illyria, and record it in the Discord so that we can, in the Discord channel, so we can remember how many points you're putting in, because this stacks, and
Yes.
you can either make it bigger, giving you a bonus on the int, or you can make it hurt more, giving you a bonus on the damage.
Right. Okay. So I'll put 2 points in just to save me with something.
Mm-hmm. And Kardar.
I'm going to also put 2 points in, and I obviously have to roll. And I've rolled 63, which is under my water, so that should be fine.
Kardar, you can't use water. You have to use
Oh, of
one of
course not.
Isari's runes.
Yeah, okay, which... Right, okay. Okay.
As we recall, Illyria used harmony.
Yeah,
So,
okay, I'm going for... Right, let me have a look. I think it's movement, isn't it?
harmony or movement.
So I'll roll against movement, which I've got at 75, so...
Yeah, take
passed
the
up.
previous roll, it's fine, cool, it works. So, how many points are you using?
2.
Cool.
Leaves me with just 1 rune point.
Arthaios.
I'll just be vigilant for the moment.
You're protecting your temple. You're being Orlanth in your storm hall. Fantastic. Arthaios, could you please roll me sing? Hello, fly.
Sorry, you told me something.
Arthaios, please roll me sing.
He's naked and now he's singing. I'm
He
just...
put some
gonna
clothes
have to
on,
stop.
just to be sure. Just to be
Right,
sure.
I'm just have to find my.
It's under
So it's
communications.
20. Yes. And I'm not very good at it apparently.
Okay, so you can't remember any of the stories of what you should be doing in the temple or in your storm hall, which just means standing there and glowering dramatically. But fine, hey, you can do that pretty well. And then evening begins to fall. The duck provides you all with some fresh fish to eat.
Do we really want to eat anything that was in that fort?
I would not give you bad fish. Anyway, it came from
Okay,
upstream.
sorry. I did not mean to offend you. I apologize profusely. I was trying to be funny.
I'm sorry, I'm under a little bit of strain. I've never fought a vampire before.
I wouldn't
Well,
feel the strain. None of us have.
He gives Arthaios a little punch on the shoulder. A teeny hand!
In preparation, would meditation help in any way?
Meditation will help with one thing. So you can use ritual preparations for magical stuff. And in this case, I think that the one thing that is scary in this room, as it were, is the eye contact of a vampire.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that if you meditate and call upon Isseries and chant songs and dance dances of power, you're going to end up with a better chance of seeing off what is a quasi-magical attack. So when we get to that, if anyone does make eye contact and she attacks them through it, feel absolutely free to remind me you've each spent an hour going, this is the way, we're gonna kill her.
Okay.
Which
Do we need to
Give that
make
a
a
go.
roll for it then?
we will, but not when we're going to... Well, we'll make the roll when we get to it. Just ritual stuff is you're doing sacred things now. So it's not even a meditate roll, it's all of the bits together.
Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait, and I'm going to put my sword into the ground next to me so it's ready to be snatched up, so that I have time to cast any protective magics.
The duck waddles up and down nervously.
I would try to buff up my shield as much as possible.
Okay, so Arthios, most shields are hide covered, but I suspect, given what you're saying, you have bronze covered shield. So yeah,
Yes.
you're buffing that up as much as you can. It's going to be awkward. You won't be able to use it to defend yourself, but you should be able to use it to fight backwards. At a significant penalty, but we'll get to my own amusement when we get there. And let me have a look. This is cool. Scaling Drusilla can be made more difficult by making her a sorcerer. Do you feel lucky?
Not really.
That's fine. And now let me have a quick look. Okay, and then you're pretty much ready. You're looking for stuff, and the sun sets. And a slightly glowing ghost walks out of the cave. 3 chunks of the darkness pick themselves out and jump at her. And you can see that there is a Vingan, mostly see-through, fighting 3 giant trolls, also mostly see-through. What are you doing?
Can we assist her through spirit combat?
You could probably physically pile into the trolls or into the Vingan and thus have your spirit touching theirs. They are corporate enough, you can do this.
I think that we should attack the trolls.
Yes.
If this happens every year, then presumably Vingan is strong enough to deal with the trolls.
But they said that the morning comes when she's almost worn out.
Okay.
So probably my reasoning is that this is something that keeps repeating because she barely can fend them off, but she cannot defeat them.
All right.
She just manages to fend them off for long enough for the sun to come back. Maybe if we can help her to defeat them, the curse will go away or whatever it is.
All right.
Yeah.
Don't know if I'm making any sense.
No, you're making sense. I'm just thinking that trolls followed by a vampire is a big ask if we have to do. I'm gonna ready. If we're getting in, I'm readying some spirit magic.
Yes.
Okay, so there is a rune spell, Spirit Block, which will help you in spirit combat. It's a shield, but for spirit magic. In general, when you are attacking spirits, the stuff that will work physically doesn't work on magic. But you may wish to pre-prepare for all sorts of events. And they're fighting. It doesn't look like they're particularly worried. They're not stopping. You have some time.
I can summon an air elemental. Will that help?
Are you asking me or are you asking your friends?
Everybody.
I don't know how the Vingan is aligned.
No.
Air, water, or
Well, Vinga is probably air and movement.
So the elemental should be
It's a spirit
good
from essentially
in
her
helping.
temple.
It should be good to help her fighting against the trolls, I guess.
Uh-huh.
go for it.
Yes, yes, indeed.
Okay, so please cast using air. What size of elemental are you summoning?
I only have a small one.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you had small or medium as adventurous.
Okay. And
In fact, a medium elemental is far more fun, so you may, if you wish, have summon medium air elemental as well.
of course, well, of course I will then. And my air value is 70.
Mm-hmm.
So I roll a 2.
Okay, so not only do you succeed, but Orlanth blesses the event. He thinks this is a splendid idea and doesn't charge you for the privilege. If you get a critical when rolling rune magic, you don't spend the points. If you fumble, you spend the points and you fail to get the effect, so hey. However, an air elemental begins to appear. And air elementals are not quiet or subtle. So you're going to be noticed. Can everyone please make a scan roll?
I failed again.
And scan.
Succeeded.
Mm-hmm.
I think I passed.
Okay, so in this particular case, mere passes are not going to be enough. You're opposed against something else that's going on in the environment. However, what happens when an air elemental in a temple of Orlanth decides that 3 trolls over there are beating up on one of its allies? I'm gonna roll this briefly out and then describe it because, well, yes. It blows straight at them. It throws itself into combat with all 3 at the same time, because of course it does, and begins to blow their outlines apart. They start attacking it instead of Alarin the Vingan. Alarin the Vingan then attacks the trolls because she's finally got an ally. And Illyria, time to make that check, please. How sneaky are you?
Right. Okay.
So
And
you're
what
making
am I rolling on?
you're making an opposed roll against someone else's intelligence.
Aha. Yes. Okay.
What is your intelligence?
My intelligence is 13.
Okay, so you're slightly higher than them. They're int 12, which
so
means
I need to get 55.
yes, you have a 55% chance of beating them. Please roll that, 55 or under.
No, missed.
Okay, fair enough. So you haven't managed to put your warding in the correct place. Which means the first thing we know of what happens is when Carda's warding goes off. Carda. Carda, can you please roll me 2d6?
2d6, okay. 6 and a 1, 7. Very, very average.
Drusilla. -7. And let me roll a location for you. There's a yelp, a sort of scream, and all of the sounds of a warding going off, the clamour, the shouts of alarm, the little carved mouths saying, "Intruder!" all go off.
Danger, danger.
Carter, your warding just got crossed.
Okay, so my reaction is to cast mobility, followed by protection.
That's cool. Athios, what you doing?
I will go with his advice and I will cast Blade Sharp and Protection.
Okay, so we're spending this round casting stuff. Illyria.
Yeah, same here. Well, I haven't got. I want to cast Shimmer 2 on myself.
You can do that.
And have I got enough time to use my Matrix to cast Blade Sharp as well in the same round?
Yes, because they're not attacks. So assuming you have your Dex strike rank plus any extra points, plus 5, because you're changing around what you're doing, getting the Matrix, making quick holy symbols, you probably all do.
Okay, so I've got Shimmer 2 and Blade Sharp 2. Then.
Yep. So I'm just going to ask you to roll for success on those, because you're not currently being attacked. We'll just take this as one melee round.
Right, so first one is 85. I think that's too high. Okay, so that one didn't work. The second one is 51, which I think is success.
Okay. So
no Shimmer, but Blade Sharp I've got.
okay, that's probably the right way round, to be honest. I'm just writing down a thing or two, because for some reason, some things are happening.
Help, duck.
Yeah, the duck.
I rolled the 12 and 23.
Okay, so that's
so
two passes. And Carter.
My protection is 60, which is a success, and the mobility is 23. So that should also be a success.
Yeah, okay, so you're all tooled up.
That was protection 3, by the way.
That's fine, that's cool. Keep track of it yourselves. Please everyone roll me a scan roll.
One of these days I'm going to pass one of these.
I
Nah,
passed this one.
don't.
Yes! 5%.
Okay, so those of you who pass, you can't see a vampire. Something's come in, but you can't see them. Athios, you can see some stars up there are a bit occluded. Illyria, how did your roll go?
Got a 4.
Okay,
0,
so
4.
2 of you got very good rolls. Carter and Illyria, that's smoke up there, and it's caught in an air elemental. Because there's a bloody great air elemental causing havoc all over this area right now.
Okay.
I don't suppose there's any chance of the duck casting some Humact sword magic on my blade.
The duck is walking towards Athios to cast Humacti's sword magic.
I'll wait my turn.
And indeed does that. However, Calder, could you please roll me 2d6? And Illyria, please roll me a POW times 3 for luck.
Okay.
So my roll was a 5 and a 6, so 11.
Yeah, Carter, your ward's got hit again as the air elemental rolled through it with something inside.
Well, if it's coming back, we'll have a third go.
20. Okay.
And then Illyria, that sounds like a pass on POW times 3.
Yes, yes.
Can you
20.
please roll me
Ah,
2d6?
2d6.
Yep.
Okay. 2d6. And we get 8.
Okay, and the air elemental rolls through that as well. And there's a kind of thump, and a pale, beautiful but rather bloodied woman, naked, I mean, perhaps she was casting Orlanthe spells earlier, falls out of the air in a
Okay.
kind of sad heap, which means the air elemental can no longer play with her. I actually have another picture to put into the session. For those who can't see, I've just got some illustrations I'm grabbing out.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Excellent.
But what's happening with the trolls?
So, Athios, the air elemental, has left the trolls alone. Which
Okay.
means that Alarin is fighting, but she seems to be doing pretty well.
Okay.
Because, for some reason, the trolls aren't coming at her very hard. They're already wounded.
Okay.
So we've got a bloodied woman who we suspect is the vampire, currently outside our wards.
Yes, currently just next to Illyria's ward.
And she's on a heap on the floor.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
I would cut her head.
Yeah, roll me Dex times 5. Let's see if you get there before Devival.
Dex is 11, so it's 55. I rolled a 38.
Okay, so yeah, you get there before Devival. You've got magic on you. You can just cut the head off. Thump. She doesn't bleed very much. It's like she's dead already.
Well, undead.
That all seemed a bit too easy. I'm uneasy.
And then Devival pushes his sword down through her chest, and it goes right to the hilt, which is impossible because she's on bedrock, and he lifts it up as her body falls away into ash and
Okay.
nods to Artheus.
Just to stay on the safe side.
Cut the head off,
I'm staying in the wards.
kill the heart.
And what about the battle that's still going on, I guess, with the trolls?
Well, now you get to decide if you intervene.
I would say so. That's what we had planned at the beginning.
In for a
Yes.
penny.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, you still got 3 trolls. There are 3 of you. The duck has done his thing and is now, with great ducky prejudice, dedicating her remains to Dakafal and the many, many winds. He's staying there to tell her, and stay down!
Okay. Well,
I still haven't got a weapon that can touch spirits.
Spirit combat, on the other hand, is entirely possible.
Okay.
Also, if you have got Blade Sharp, that will touch spirits.
so I will try to get one of the trolls.
Artheos, you have Humacti magic on you, which is making your sword very efficient for the next 15 minutes.
Yeah.
You could attempt to fight physically, or you could attempt spirit combat.
I think that my best chances are physically, given the enchantments of the blade.
Okay. So, Kardar.
I don't have much choice, do I? I'm gonna have to try spirit combat.
Okay,
I
good
suspect.
fun.
Yeah, 35% chance I'm not holding my breath.
That's fine. And Illyria.
I want to try and cast Blade Sharp 2 again, and then I'll attack a troll if I
Sweet.
have time.
So, Spirit Combat is strike rank 12. Illyria will be going significantly after Arthaios because Illyria is casting,
Mm-hmm.
or at least slightly after Arthaios. So I'll just take Arthaios, Illyria, and then Carda's Spirit Combat.
So I rolled the 1.
Okay, so this will be full damage, but it is the full damage that you can do, which in this case is only the magical part.
Okay.
So it is 1d8 plus 1, plus your damage bonus, because you're hitting hard. So 9 plus your damage bonus.
So the damage bonus is 1d6. I rolled the 1.
Okay, so...
I also had Blade Sharp 1. Does that count?
yes, sorry, that also adds. It only adds on one time.
Yeah.
3. You're taking on the one known as Hangram, apparently. Hangram the Fat.
You get a bonus to hit.
Sorry, how much did you do in total?
So it was 9 plus 1 for Blade Sharp.
That's a nice number, because I'm a bit dysnumeric. And being able to take 10 away from something is one of my core skills. And then Illyria.
Right, okay, so I'm going to try and cast the Blade Sharp first.
Sweet.
I'm 34, so I actually succeeded this
Hurrah.
time.
And roll me your attack.
And the attack will be, I'm just trying to find it, 75, so that'll be 85.
Okay, you've got plus 10 for the Blade Sharp 2.
Yes, yeah, and I rolled a 2. I rolled 0 2, so I've got a critical
So
one.
that's a critical. Unfortunately, you are only doing the magic part of it. Do you have a damage bonus?
Physical, yeah, 1d4.
Okay, so you'll be doing 2 plus 1d4.
Okay.
Sometimes you get bear, sometimes the bear gets you. The one you're after is called Dravink the Small, incidentally.
3 plus 2 is 5 then.
Sweet. Dravink the Small is gigantic. Trolls have a pretty obvious sense of humour sometimes. And Cardar.
Alright. I have a 35% chance for spirit magic.
Yep.
I just rolled 0 2.
So what
I'm gonna float test
got
these dice. This is
was-
shocking.
What Fangtear got was a fail, but this doesn't actually matter. You do twice your maximum spirit combat damage.
Which is 2d6 then. 1d6 is my normal, so it'll be 12 points.
So 12. Yeah, you step into the middle of this thing. Fangtear. They have such lovely names. They're my little children. And you do 12 points of damage.
I'm more than happy about that.
You've taken a great big chunk out of one of them. At which point, Alarin is going to... Well, she's hitting one of them. She's probably going for Hangram. Yeah, she puts her spear through Hangram. He doesn't immediately die, but she twists and pulls it out, and he begins to dissipate around that because she struck a mortal blow. No matter how many mundane magic points she's done, she's finally put a sword into his heart.
Is anyone scared we may be releasing a larger problem?
Have you played with me as a GM before?
No, I just know how fiendish GMs are.
I'm a lovely person, as to Hobbit Tom in the Voice of the Gods out there will tell you. Tom, tell him I'm a lovely person. Okay. This means that, Arthaios, you don't have someone fighting you anymore. You don't have anyone to fight, but you do have a Vingan twirling her spear and saluting you. She's a bit ghosty, but still. The Vingan twirls her spear, salutes you, and then jumps into battle again.
Okay. I will try to attack the one that is fighting with Illyria, which is the one that's less.
I think you need to remember who's paying you, man.
Yeah, but you did a much better job than he did.
Obviously, Carter can handle himself. So sweet. For two of you, and we'll just make the physical attacks now. That will be strike rank 1. I'll go through the strike ranks. For one of you, I guess spirit combat again. They will be attempting spirit combat against you. I guess actually I should roll that for strike rank 12 for Illyria. No, I did that, didn't I? I didn't do it for Illyria, did I?
No.
So anyway, as you can tell, I'm a GM and I practice a lot. Illyria, can you please roll spirit combat because it is attacking you?
Okay. Where's it gone? 35.
No.
35. 75. Nope, failed.
Okay. Fortunately, it has also failed.
Oh, 100 was for them.
Now we'll go to attacking them again. We'll go strike rank 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, that's me.
So, Illyria, you got attacked in spirit combat, which means
Yeah.
you're kind of a bit distracted.
Right.
Can you please roll me int times 3 to be able to hit it with a sword? Essentially, be clear-headed.
13, I made it.
Awesome, yeah, you can do this thing.
Right, so now I'm rolling for an attack.
Yep.
It's 85. 25. Okay, it's a normal hit, so I guess it's damage bonus and 2 points again.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, maximum 6 points.
Oof. So that's pretty good. And then a little bit later, Arthaios arrives.
And I hit, and it should be 1d8 plus.
1d8 plus 1 plus your damage bonus.
Oh, it's 2. It's 8 points.
8 points. Yes, so that one's looking particularly holy and damaged, but hasn't actually managed to kill anything, to die. Sorry. Carda. Good news. Your opponent has just been stabbed. Even better news, you haven't been. Ghostly spear kind of comes straight past you and twists. 2d6 plus... Yeah. Straight in through one eyeball. Poof. Troll disappears. Just gone. Unmute.
We can't hear you.
It would help if I wasn't on mute. Can I use my spirit magic against the surviving troll in that case?
Yes, you can go attack the surviving troll, but yeah, wait, not this turn, because statements of intent.
Yeah, it was all ready to go, and
Yeah, you're already go, and then she kill stoled. She has been camping this ford a very long time. Okay, and then on strike rank 12, we get to Illyria. and some actual spirit combat. Please roll me spirit combat.
Okay. And I've got a score 21. I think that's okay.
So that's a pass. It's passed as well, which means you're kind of tearing at each other, but you're not really getting in at each other.
Okay.
You know, sometimes here the rules are actually unclear. In one place it says damage both, in one place it says don't damage. It's a bit awkward. So I tend to decide if you're really committed to something, you both damage each other.
Right.
Otherwise, neither damages the other.
No.
But I've never really been able to establish that rule to my own satisfaction.
Right.
And I think at that point you don't really have much of an opponent left anymore. Fangtear's gone, Hangram's gone. You got Dravink. Dravink isn't going to last for long. However, Alphios, you're there early, so can you please roll an attack and see if it's you that kills the troll, or if the Vingan gets to?
I rolled a 9.
It's you that kills the troll. You neatly slice the shadowy thing in half. Your air elemental plays with the remains. And then, being an air elemental, it goes to attack the water, because the Ford is looking at it funny. But that's fine, it just means that the area gets quieter. And the Vingan stretches, puts her spear in a position that says she is not fighting anymore, and holds up a hand in greeting. Vinga sent help. Hail, fellows.
Hail.
Hail.
Okay.
I am grateful. No doubt you know I am. How long has it been?
How many times have you fought the trolls at this ford?
Once. But I think it's been a very long time.
Indeed. Our legends speak of you having been here for many, many years.
Well, on the plus side, not only do Orlant's halls await me, but my debts don't. I am off.
I'm not sure how I feel about that as a merchant.
You earn your rest.
I think I have. I am off, but we have a while until the darkness lifts, and I wish to greet Yelm once more. I intend to worship. Will you join me in it?
Yes, of course.
Okay. At this point, she leads you in a worship ceremony to Vinga. The duck doesn't take part in it, he's a Humacti, but you are all Lightbringers. Illyria worships Arachne Solara, of course. And therefore, you get back 1d6 rune points. Which is nice. And
Hey!
I haven't lost any, so I don't get any. I
no,
guess.
but you get a tick on devotion or land. You've just met an awesome hero. And as she goes, well, everyone do me a scan roll, please.
My
Nope.
record's not good on these.
Yes.
Nope.
Nope.
Okay.
I succeeded.
Those of you who pass, as she walks away, you can see on the north bank of the river, waiting for her, is a band of Vingans. The clothes that they're wearing, the styles of armour, all as ancient as hers. And she joins them, and as Yelm rises, they do the traditional thing where they draw their swords and stab at the sun. And then they fade away.
Oh.
Cool.
And the cave
Enter
doesn't
home.
go down.
Ah!
Ah.
Might be time to go and have a glance in the cave and see what's in there.
It's weirdly dry now. There's a layer of mud everywhere, and some writing on the wall. It's pretty old writing, to be honest.
Does any one of us understand what it says?
Do any
I
of you
suspect.
read Thalion?
Nope.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I
So-
do, because that's the core script for Sartar.
Cardar, this is
Right.
old.
Old.
Your
Right,
your
okay.
score at 50%, please.
Uh, I have got 23, and my modified one is 36. My modified one is 36.
So that would be a yes.
No, 35. No, my modified one is 35. It's a fail
Oh,
by
okay.
half a percentage point.
By what? Fail by?
I failed by 1 percentage point because you can't half
A
35.
half goes in your favour.
Oh, in that case, I
Put a tick on read right. Yeah, it's scratched into the wall. There are lots of drawings. People have been using this cave since time immemorial. Some of this stuff is older than writing. And then there it says, I am Alarin Shorthair, pursued by enemies. 5 trolls set out to hunt me. 2 are dead. I am unwounded once more, but so are they. They will come in the darkness, so I will go to meet them. I am prepared.
Very cool. We now know the legend of Alarin Shorthair.
You do. And you will find, well, other than a very surprised eel, there are the remains of some skeletons here, buried in mud. Can everyone please roll me a search roll?
Search.
I have succeeded on a 34, which on a target's 35, so.
I rolled the 6,
Okay.
and I
Thing to. Oh,
What was that, Illyria?
I've missed. I've
Okay.
failed.
So you're so busy looking for stuff to put into your pouches that you don't actually notice some of the treasure. Arthaios, is that a special?
it's 6 out of 25.
Not quite a special. So Carda and Arthaios, can you each roll me 1d6? If you get the same number, roll again.
I've got 3.
I got 4.
Okay, so Carda, you see a collection of spearheads there, including what looks like it was once iron but is now just an orange smear in the mud, but lying on it a spearhead of napped crystal. It looks like it's got magic all over it. Arthaios, you see some bronze greaves just within the mud. It's a highly unusual style, you'd say ancient, with, again, what looks like something engraved in it. And they're kind of pierced with loads of air runes. It's really nice work.
So he's got everything. God.
It's cool. Now, at this point...
So I didn't find anything? Oh,
Sorry, what was that? Oh,
I didn't find anything.
who got the 4?
That was.
I did.
You got
I
the
got the
4.
4.
Arthaios, that was that. Carda, you got these. You found the spearhead. My apologies.
Oh, okay.
I got the name wrong.
I'm going to pick up the spearhead and put it in my pouch in that case until I can figure out what it is. There's a spell for that, you know.
Yeah, of course, we will. I will take what I found as well.
Now, this is technically the end of the adventure. You may have questions. if you do, now is the ideal time. And I enjoyed running that. I hope you enjoyed playing in it. In this particular,
Absolutely.
thank you. In this particular case, Carter, no further trouble. You just become a bit famous.
I went through the whole character generation without any reputation gains whatsoever, because us merchants just slide through things. So probably best not to be famous.
Unfortunately, you each earn 1d3 reputation for freeing the trolls and the Vinga. This reputation may cause trouble in the future, because those troll spirits are now also free. And okay, this grudge match started 500 years ago, but there are some mistress trolls who still remember Alarin.
Okay.
It's
I think hunted by
fine.
spirit trolls is always fine.
There'll be no comebacks.
And the vampire was quite underwhelming.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes people get lucky, and the way that you did it, especially with an air elemental and a temple, so you asked exactly the right people for help. You did exactly the right things, and the air elemental helped way more than you can think, because she came in smoke form. At which point she couldn't even change back into a person. She couldn't see within the temple. She knew something bad was going on. What she was trying to do was she was trying to get in and steal the spirits and make them part of her ghost army. So put them into spirit magic stuff, imprison them in matrices, which meant she needed to be in there to perform a ritual. Presumably she had a mistress who had instructed her in that, so she's not going to go back in failure. Which meant that if someone was interfering, she had to go forwards. And she went forwards into a group of people who had prepared well. I've had people fight that person. I've had people hunker down in the temple. I've had Deveval really help. I've had Deveval be useless. And you got lucky and did the right things. So sometimes vampires are underwhelming. just don't.
I'm not
bank
I'm not
on it.
complaining at all. I'm not
No,
complaining.
no, absolutely not complaining.
This is the bit where you're hunting through your spell list, going, I have no idea what half these things do. I'd better go and try and figure it out. Because I
Yeah.
thought warding that looks handy.
Yeah, warding was very good. I was actually going to mention it to you, particularly, Carter, because there will be times that you ward your campsite. So you're very good at protecting yourself on a journey. If you'd happen to have Path Watch up, which would have been a bit twinky, to be honest.
Yeah, I
when you
looked at
came
it and I
towards...
thought,
Yeah, no.
it's travel safely, but we weren't really traveling.
Yeah, I mean, it would have found the ambush, but I just threw you into that because you weren't going to do that anyhow. And you knew the ford was safe.
Yeah.
The fun thing is that I'm not familiar with the system. I only started reading stuff, so I was mostly going blind.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit unfortunate that some people did seem to know the system and that you didn't. Like, I much prefer to do this for people who are either all new or all experienced, but I think everyone did pretty well here. Like, I don't mind explaining to people, now you roll this, now you roll that, and then narrating, it's fine. So, as long as you feel you got something out of it, that's cool.
Of course.
Yeah, definitely.
It was great fun.
Thank you.
Very
Been
good, thank you.
40 years since I've been role playing, so
However, I'm going to mention, especially for people following, I don't do this entirely for free. Oh, hello, my bot is broken. I do write and publish these adventures, so Vinga's Ford is a published adventure by Beer with Teeth, which is my imprint, and I'm just going to put a link into the chat because I spent all today making sure that the Twitch stream would respond to keywords. What do you think's just happened?
People have been going off buying stuff, I hope.
Well, I will copy the link and then people can respond to... Oh, I know what I actually didn't do. I didn't give it mod Streamlabs. I didn't give it a privilege. So it's not actually allowed to. So that was totally user error. Oh, apparently it's already a moderator on the channel, so it wasn't. I'll try that again. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I love showing these things off, but if you are interested in my work, please do feel free to pick it up and look further. And I love helping people run things as well. So you can come to me to ask about it. Anyway,
Sure.
I probably need more tea. Ah, yes, and as Hobbit Tom says, with NPC from. So this was originally run in 1613, which meant that I got to use a young Humacti who in 1625 is a rune lord. He's a one-eyed duck of doom. But I got to make him be 18, and he hasn't yet lost the eye, and he only has one rune point, and he's so honourable. He's like a little Boy Scout. So, yeah, theoretically...
Dib, 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 dob, dob, dob.
Dib, dib, dib. Dob, dob, dob. So, yeah, if you meet a one-eyed mallard called Duval, as opposed to Devival, then, yeah, don't cross him. He's got absolutely nothing to prove. And thank you to Tom for the use of his character.
Thanks
However,
very much. It's a lot of fun.
So go on.
We just need some volunteers to run the next one there.
Yeah, not me.
I know. No,
But yeah,
that's going above and beyond.
I will absolutely talk to you about who can run what and when. You will probably want one extra person at least, but I'm going to stop the stream now. And what did I start the stream with? There we go. So to everyone watching us, thank you very much, and see you soon. I'll talk to some of you soon, I'm sure.